Hello everyone, I'm Deb Knapp, and today we're going to work on head, neck, shoulder integrity. The reason that's so important is because on the back of your neck you have nerves that go all the way to your hands. You've got a lot of circulation back there, you've got lymphatic things, and so there's a lot of problems when that neck doesn't have integrity. So we're going to work on that. A lot of you have a forward head, which also creates things like sinus issues and maybe even headaches, and brain fog is part of that as well. Because energy level is also related to head, neck, shoulder integrity, and Parkinson's actually starts at C2. So we're going to work on that a little bit. The first thing I want you to do is just to roll your shoulders back and down. For some of you that's hard. Try and roll them back and down. In other words, tilt the sternum upward and bring your head up a little bit. Hold those shoulders back. And now, as best you can, keeping the shoulders down, I want you to drop your chin. Now you're probably going to feel some tug on the back of that neck. Pay attention to how much space is between your chin and your chest, and you're going to hold that. If you look at anatomy in the neck, there's lots of layers, lots of directions, so you don't want to get in a hurry because you're not going to accomplish what you want to. We're going to do each of these positions once, but I want you to do them each twice, because if you do those and again hold them, you're going to get your optimal results. And then see if you can pull the shoulders back, drop that chin again, and again you're going to hold that. Notice what you feel on the right side, the left side. Is your chin in line with your sternum, or is it off to one side? Same thing with your eyes. It should be directly on top of your legs. Then I want you to take your head up. We're going to take the shoulders back and down again. This is where you always start no matter what we do. Just again to try to put some neutrality into those shoulders. And then what you're going to do is tilt that head up. Tilt the chin up. Now for a lot of you, you're going to feel a stretch on the front of the neck. That's perfectly fine. Remember, the muscles work like this. So if the front side's too tight, you've got some weakness on the back side. You're going to hold that up. And again, pay attention. Where do you feel that? And in the beginning, for some of you, especially if there's any rotation or if you've got one shoulder that's higher and or a head that tilts to one side, you're going to notice that it's not real comfortable. I promise it gets better, but again, you've got to hold that. So what you're doing is you're challenging, you're re-educating the paraspinals, those muscles that go from occipital ridge to your tailbone, in the cervical spine. That's going to help realign that cervical spine. See if you can tilt that back just a little bit, and then bring it down slowly. Now, the other thing that happens with this one is you start to get a little bit of oxygen through the nose instead of through your mouth, which is where most of you are. What that is getting rid of that brain fog and some energy level as well. And you're going to do each of those twice. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do a tilt. You're going to roll the shoulders back. Now, I suggest that you find a spot straight ahead of you so that you make sure you tilt and don't have any rotation. So we're going to tilt to the left. That means we're going to keep that right shoulder down because you've got muscles that connect from occipital ridge to your shoulder and to the shoulder blade in the back. And so you're going to tilt. Make sure the head stays forward and keep that down. If I lift this, it kind of defeats the purpose. We're going to keep that down, hold that head forward, and again, we're just going to hold, and let that stretch. Now, if you've got other things that are tight as well, you may notice that one thing lets go and you feel it someplace else. That's perfectly fine and perfectly normal depending on what your dysfunctional patterns are. So you're going to drop that shoulder, see if you can tilt that head a little bit more, and you probably will feel it move, and that's perfectly fine. And again, just hold it. And I'm not going to suggest a specific time. It depends on how much tightness you have. For some people, if you feel like it's continually releasing, hold it a little longer. There's nothing wrong with that. Then you're going to slowly bring that head up. Again, we always start with shoulders back and down. And now we're going to tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. And now we're going to keep that left shoulder down. Again, creating some space, lengthening those muscles from occipital ridge into the shoulder, into the scapula. You may even feel it on the front of the chest, and that's perfectly fine. You've got a muscle right underneath your clavicle that for pretty much all of you is going to be tight because your shoulders are forward. So you may feel it on the front, you may feel it on the back. I really want you to feel the shoulder blades trying to come together. And you may feel Nothing on one side and a lot on the other. Again, that'll tell you there's some imbalances going on. So you're going to hold that tilt. Keep your eyes forward. In other words, don't rotate so your eyes are down. You're going to hold, and again, try and drop that shoulder. Pay attention to what you're feeling. Allow that to release, and it will. But again, don't get in a hurry. Now we're going to bring our head up. Again, you're going to do those each twice. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to rotation, especially any of you that are still driving. That's really important, being able to look over your shoulder. First thing we're going to do is take the shoulders back. Then we're going to turn to the left. Again, keeping that right shoulder down. And you're going to hold that. Pay attention to how far you can turn over the shoulder, because that's really important. You're only as strong as your range of motion, but your range of motion is directly related to your functional ability. Again, hold that. Keep this one down. Keep it back. Don't let it rotate forward. Just hold that. And again, you may feel it in one spot and it changes. Now I feel it someplace else. That's just the muscles rebalancing themselves. And after you hold that, and I would say even a little longer, we're going to take it forward. We're going to take it back and down. Again, this is where you always start. Try to go neutral first. And then we're going to turn to the right. And you're going to keep that shoulder back. Keep your chin away from your chest. Don't drop it down. You're just going to rotate. And you're going to hold. Again, note how far you can turn over your shoulder, because it will most likely will change that second time. I'm just going to hold that. And then you're going to come back. Now, to finish it off, we're going to finish where we started. So you're going to roll the shoulders back, you're going to drop your chin. And now, you're going to reassess. You should definitely notice a difference in range of motion, that your chin is a little closer to your chest, a lot less tug. Bring the head up, shoulders down and back, and now we're going to tilt that head back. And again, you should notice a big difference in range of motion as well as any tightness on the front and the back. All right? So once we do that, we're going to move down to the shoulders a little bit. What we're going to do first is we're going to do back shoulder rolls. We're going to start there. Always remember, it's the muscles in the upper mid-back that are doing the job. It's like you're taking your shoulder blades from out here and you're bringing them down and back like you're putting them in the back pockets. And you're going to hold that. Do not forget the sternum tilt. A lot of people go here. I want you to make sure that you tilt the sternum upward when we do that. That's what's really going to reposition your shoulders. So down and back, and I'm going to suggest you do that at least 15 to 20 times. And again, you're going to hold that down, sternum tilted upward, and the chin is upward. Don't leave your head down when you're trying to tilt your sternum. And again, we're going to do that at least 12 to 15 times, maybe longer, depending on how it feels. Also notice, does one move easier than the other? Do they move together? Does one move first? The longer you do that, the more balance you're going to get. So back shoulder rolls. And after we do that, what I want to do is we're going to take our arms to the side and we're going to do snow angels in sitting. Remember, again, in snow angels, it's not about the arms. It's about the muscles in the upper mid-back that are moving the arms. We're going to start here. If you're here, you're only going to get this far on your arms or not even that far. And it's going to be a struggle to get your arms up. Again, we do this to go neutral. There's a rule that says you start all exercises in neutral, so we're going to do the best we can to get neutral. Head up, shoulders back, and now we're going to slowly take those arms up, and you're going to try and touch your thumbs. Now, some of you won't be able to do that, so what I want you to do is bring them as far as you can, as long as the arms are straight. As soon as you bend the arms, you lose the demand in the upper mid-back. So if they start to bend here, I want you to stop here, straighten the arms, so you're going to engage the tricep. And again, the head tilt. See, we're just adding to what we already did. We're going to bring those together, and then we're going to lower that slowly. Again, pay attention. How does the right feel? How does the left feel? This one, you may start to get fatigue in the shoulders. I'm perfectly fine with that. Again, we need the endurance. You're gonna raise it up. Thumbs above the head. And you're gonna hold that. Again, keeping the arms nice and straight. This is also recentering you. So because paraspinals are engaged on both sides, the head is tilted, you're getting what's called thoracic and lumbar extension. Those are those same muscles that hold you upright, so that's really important. And if you can't do that in sitting, it's hard to do it in standing because a lot of people get fatigued when they stand too long. This one will help. Raising it up, tilting the head. Just make sure those arms are straight. Nice deep breathing in through the nose. Again, working on getting some diaphragm in there. So make sure you feel the rib cage expand as you take a breath. And you're gonna lower. And I would say do that again no less than a dozen times. Now, if it's too hard and you feel like it gets too much, take a break. But try and at least get in 10 to 12. Build on that, because the more you do, the more endurance you're gonna get. But again, if you need to take a break, take a break. Now, the last thing we're gonna do in this sequence is arm circles. In the arm circles, you're gonna take the palms up as best you can. Here's what you need to understand. A lot of people can only get this far. It's because the muscles in the shoulder, the upper mid-back, do not function, do not contract enough to roll the shoulder backward. The more of this you do, this whole sequence, the better, and you're gonna notice that it's easier to get the palms facing up instead of just forward. So thumb should face backward. And if you notice, that opens up my sternum, the top of my chest, rolling backwards. Now, again, I'm not using my arms. I want them to be straight, and I'm just gonna roll those back. Again, same muscles as I used in backward shoulder circles. Rolling backwards. Nice slow circles, leading with the thumbs. They need to go backward because those muscles on the posterior chain are the weaker. And we need to roll those back, making sure that they are engaging. Again, pay attention. Is one more dominant? Does one move better? Try to get to the point where you feel the muscles between the shoulder blades, the muscles on the side of the torso that pull those shoulder blades down and back. And again, once there's an overload principle that says you have to go beyond what's normal or comfortable. So when it starts to get tired, don't stop. Try to do at least 4 or 5 more, and then you'll build on that. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then you're going to drop those arms. Now, the one thing I also wanted to mention here, a lot of you are head forward, shoulders forward, internal rotation, so when you stand up, your arms don't hang straight. That's internal rotation. You're going to have a lot of torque. At that elbow, you've got a muscle that connects from the top to the bottom, so just opening that, and you'll probably feel it in Snow Angels too, that's normal. That's just untwisting those muscles so that those arms hang straight. These two in conjunction are some of the best ones to get those arms to straighten out, which also help the shoulders. So that's the sequence for head, neck, shoulder integrity. Thanks for watching and keep up the good work.